As the first rays of dawn painted the vast Montana sky in hues of pink and gold, a young woman stood at the edge of a dusty ranch road, her suitcase gripped tightly in one hand, her heart torn between the freedom she craved and the life she had unexpectedly grown to love. Little did she know, in that fragile moment, a simple gesture from a rugged rancher would unravel her plans and weave a tale of unexpected connection, proving that sometimes, the hand that reaches out can change everything. She had arrived in Montana 6 months earlier, fleeing the chaos of city life in Chicago. Emily Thompson, a 28-year-old graphic designer, had lost her job during a brutal corporate downsizing. Her apartment lease ended abruptly, and, with no family to fall back on, her parents had passed away years ago in a car accident, she decided on a whim to answer an online ad for a temporary ranch hand position. It was supposed to be a stopgap, a way to earn quick cash while she figured out her next move. The ranch, owned by Jack Harlan, a 35-year-old widower who had inherited the sprawling 500-acre property from his father, was nestled in the rolling hills near Bozeman. Jack was known locally as a quiet man, hardened by loss. His wife had died in childbirth 3 years prior, leaving him to raise their infant daughter, Lily, alone. Emily's first day was a disaster. She knew nothing about horses or cattle, and her city boots slipped in the mud as she tried to help feed the herd. Jack watched her struggle with a mix of amusement and skepticism, but he didn't send her away. Instead, he showed her the ropes patiently, his deep voice explaining how to saddle a horse or mend a fence. As days turned into weeks, Emily found solace in the rhythm of ranch life, the early mornings milking cows, the afternoons riding through wildflower meadows, and the evenings sitting by the fire pit, where Jack would share stories of his childhood on the land. She bonded with Lily, the toddler's laughter filling the quiet house as Emily read her bedtime stories. Yet, beneath it all, Emily felt like an outsider. The ranch was Jack's world, not hers. She missed the buzz of cafes and art galleries, and whispers from town folks about the city girl made her uneasy. One night, after a particularly grueling day herding cattle through a storm, Emily lay awake, staring at the wooden ceiling beams. She realized she had saved enough money to leave. The pull of adventure called her westward, perhaps to Seattle or Portland, where she could rebuild her design career. She packed her bag quietly, planning to slip away at sunrise, leaving a note thanking Jack for the opportunity. As the sky began to lighten, she stepped out onto the porch, the cool air nipping at her skin. The ranch dogs, Rusty and Scout, whined softly, sensing her departure. Emily took a deep breath, her mind racing with doubts. Had she grown too attached? The thought of Lily's innocent questions about where Aunt Emmy went tugged at her, but she pushed it aside. Freedom awaited. She started down the path toward the main road, where she could hitch a ride to the bus station. But, then, she heard footsteps behind her, heavy boots crunching on gravel. Jack appeared, his hat low over his eyes, a thermos of coffee in one hand. He didn't say a word at first, just stood there, the rising sun casting long shadows. Emily froze, her suitcase feeling heavier. "Going somewhere?" he asked, his voice steady but laced with something unspoken. She nodded, explaining her plans in a rush, words tumbling out about needing to find herself again. Jack listened, then set the thermos down and reached for her hand. His calloused palm enveloped hers, warm and firm. It wasn't a grab, it was an invitation. "Stay for breakfast," he said simply. One more sunrise. In that touch, Emily felt the weight of possibilities she hadn't considered. The story of her life, she realized, might not be about running, but about staying put. As they walked back to the house together, the sun fully crested the horizon, illuminating a new chapter neither had anticipated. Emily's decision to stay for breakfast turned into a full day on the ranch, and then, another. Jack didn't pressure her, he simply included her in the daily routines as if she had never planned to leave. They worked side by side, repairing a broken gate in the north pasture. As they hammered nails into wood, Jack opened up more than he ever had. He talked about his wife, Sarah, how she had loved painting the landscapes around the ranch, her brushes capturing the golden fields in ways that made the ordinary seem magical. Emily shared her own losses, the isolation after her parents' death, the string of failed relationships in the city that left her guarded. That evening, as Lily played with wooden blocks on the living room rug, Emily helped Jack cook a simple meal of steak and potatoes from the ranch's own stock. Laughter filled the kitchen, a sound Jack hadn't heard much since Sarah's passing. Over the next weeks, Emily dove deeper into ranch life. She learned to ride confidently, galloping across open fields with the wind whipping her hair. Jack taught her about the land's history, how his great-grandfather had homesteaded it in the late 1800s, fighting blizzards and droughts to build something lasting. Emily, in turn, brought fresh ideas. She redesigned the ranch's website on her laptop, adding photos she took of the horses at sunset, attracting a few tourists for trail rides. It brought in extra income, easing Jack's worries about the rising costs of feed and vet bills. But tensions simmered. One afternoon, during a town supply run, Emily overheard gossip at the general store. "Jack's got himself a replacement," a woman whispered to another. "Poor Sarah's not even cold in the ground." The word stung, reminding Emily of her temporary status. Back at the ranch, she confronted Jack about it over coffee on the porch. He admitted the town talked, but said, "They don't know us. This, whatever it is, it's real." His hand brushed hers again, a subtle reassurance. Emily felt a spark, but fear held her back. What if she got hurt? That night, a fierce thunderstorm rolled in, lightning cracking across the sky. The power went out, and Lily cried in the dark. Emily rocked her back to sleep while Jack checked on the animals. In the candlelit living room, they sat close, sharing a blanket. Jack confessed his loneliness, how raising Lily alone terrified him. Emily admitted her own fears of commitment. As rain pounded the roof, they leaned in, their lips meeting in a tentative kiss. It was soft, exploratory, born from shared vulnerabilities. The storm passed, leaving the air fresh and charged. Emily unpacked her suitcase fully that week, deciding to extend her stay indefinitely. She started a small garden behind the house, planting vegetables and flowers, something to nurture. Jack surprised her with an old set of Sarah's paints, encouraging her to create. For the first time, Emily felt rooted, but doubts lingered like shadows at dusk. Was this love, or just convenience? As summer faded into fall, the ranch prepared for harvest, and Emily wondered if she could truly call this home. With autumn leaves turning the landscape into a tapestry of reds and oranges, Emily embraced her role on the ranch more fully. She took charge of Lily's daily care, turning mornings into adventures, picking apples from the orchard or chasing butterflies in the meadow. Jack noticed the change, his eyes softening whenever he saw them together. He began including Emily in bigger decisions, like selling off a portion of the herd to invest in solar panels for the barn. Their relationship deepened quietly. Evenings often ended with walks along the creek, hands intertwined, talking about dreams. Jack shared his hope to expand the ranch into ecotourism, preserving the land for Lily's future. Emily revealed her passion for design, sketching ideas for cabin rentals that blended rustic charm with modern comforts. One crisp morning, they drove to Bozeman for supplies and stopped at a farmer's market. Amid stalls of fresh produce and handmade crafts, Jack bought Emily a silver necklace with a turquoise pendant, a token of the Montana sky. "For the woman who's brought light back here," he said. Blushing, she accepted it, feeling a warmth spread through her. But challenges arose. A neighboring rancher, Tom Ellis, an old rival of Jack's family, started encroaching on water rights from the shared stream. Tensions escalated when Tom's cattle wandered onto Jack's land, damaging fences. Jack confronted him, leading to a heated argument at the local bar. Emily worried about Jack's temper, remnants of his grief-fueled isolation. She mediated, suggesting they consult a lawyer in town. Together, they gathered evidence, photos, and old deeds, proving the boundaries. The process brought them closer, working late nights at the kitchen table. During this time, Emily reconnected with an old friend from Chicago via email. The friend offered her a freelance design gig, remote but well-paying. It tempted her, a reminder of her independent life. She confided in Jack one night by the fire. "I don't want to lose myself here," she said. He nodded, understanding. "You're not losing, you're gaining us." His words reassured her, and she turned down the offer, choosing to build something local instead. As Halloween approached, they hosted a small pumpkin carving party for neighbors, including Lily's playmates. Laughter echoed as kids bobbed for apples. Even Tom showed up, grudgingly, with a truce offering of homemade cider. The event marked a turning point. The community began accepting Emily as part of the ranch. Winter loomed, bringing early snow flurries. Emily and Jack insulated the house, stacking firewood. In quiet moments, their intimacy grew: stolen kisses in the barn, shared baths after long days. Yet, Emily sensed Jack holding back, shadows of Sarah still present in photos around the house. One evening, she gently suggested updating the decor. Jack agreed, and they packed away some mementos, creating space for new memories. As the first heavy snow fell, blanketing the ranch in white, Emily realized her heart had shifted. This wasn't escape, it was belonging. Winter gripped the ranch with icy winds and deep snowdrifts, testing everyone's resolve. Emily adapted, bundling up in layers to help Jack clear paths for the animals. They spent days in the barn, ensuring the horses had fresh hay and water. Lily, now more verbal, called Emily Mama M, a slip that both warmed and complicated things. Jack beamed at the bond, but Emily wondered about formalities. One blizzard hit night, the power flickered out again, forcing them to huddle by the wood stove. Stories flowed. Jack recounted childhood sledding mishaps, Emily shared tales of urban winters with hot chocolate from corner vendors. Their closeness evolved into passion. That night, they made love for the first time, bodies entwined in the glow of embers. It felt natural, a culmination of months of building trust. Come Christmas, they decorated a tree cut from the property, ornaments mixing old family heirlooms with new ones Emily crafted from pine cones. Gifts were simple. Jack gave Emily riding boots fitted perfectly, she gave him a framed sketch of the ranch at sunrise. Lily's joy unwrapping toys sealed the family's emerging shape. But hardship struck mid-January. A wolf pack, driven by hunger, attacked the cattle, killing 2 calves. Jack spent nights on watch, rifle in hand. Emily joined him, learning to handle the weapons safely. The experience bonded them further, but exhaustion frayed nerves. An argument erupted when Jack snapped at Emily for forgetting to lock the gate. Hurt, she retreated to the guest room. The next day, he apologized with wildflowers picked from a greenhouse, admitting his fears of loss. They reconciled, stronger. Spring thaw brought renewal. Melting snow revealed green shoots, and Emily proposed a community event, a ranch open house with horseback rides and local vendor booths. Jack supported it, and preparations consumed them. Emily's design skills shone, creating flyers that drew crowds. The day was a success, raising funds and fostering goodwill. Amid the bustle, Jack pulled Emily aside behind the barn. "You've changed everything," he said, dropping to one knee with a ring, simple gold with a diamond from his grandmother's set. "Marry me?" Tears streaming, Emily said yes. Wedding plans unfolded modestly, a summer ceremony on the ranch. Friends from Emily's city past arrived, blending worlds. As flowers bloomed, so did their future. Emily launched a side business, designing logos for local farms. Jack hired help, easing his load. Lily thrived, her drawings showing a happy family of 3. Yet, Emily reflected on her journey, from fleeing to finding roots. The ranch, once a temporary haven, became her forever. As summer returned, vibrant and full of promise, Emily and Jack exchanged vows under a canopy of oak trees on the ranch. Guests, neighbors, old friends, and even Tom Ellis cheered as they kissed, sealing their union. Lily, in a flower girl dress, tossed petals with glee. The reception featured barbecue from their own beef, music from a local band, and dancing under string lights. Emily felt complete, her city past a distant memory. Their honeymoon was a week in a nearby cabin, hiking trails and stargazing. Back home, they settled into married life. Emily remodeled the office into a studio, balancing ranch duties with freelance work. Jack taught her to drive the tractor, sharing the load. Challenges persisted, a drought stressed the pastures, forcing water conservation. They innovated with rain barrels and crop rotation, turning adversity into growth. Lily started preschool, her chatter filling the house. Emily discovered she was pregnant that fall, a joyful surprise announced over dinner. Jack's eyes welled up, memories of Sarah mixing with excitement for this new chapter. They prepared the nursery, painting walls in soft blues. As Emily's belly grew, she reflected on that fateful sunrise. What if she had left? The rancher's hand had not just stopped her, it had guided her to a life richer than she imagined. Years later, with 2 children playing in the fields, Emily and Jack sat on the porch, hands still linked, watching sunsets. The ranch prospered, a legacy for their family. Emily's story became local lore, a city girl who stayed, proving love can bloom in unexpected places. Through seasons of joy and trial, their bond endured, a testament to reaching out and holding on.